Well, how's it going, Amirah community? I'm here with David Nicastro. We wanted to take a minute to just talk a little bit about Move for Amirah and what it means to us as people who move on behalf of the women we serve. So, David, you have done Move for Amirah over the last couple of years. You've done some really hard things. Tell me a little bit about your experience as a volunteer with Amirah and how that impacts your experience for this event, Move for Amirah.
Yeah, I was a direct care volunteer within the North Shore home. And that was back right before COVID started, so it was a very difficult time for everybody in the world, the country, but the Safe Home really got hit hard as well. Just one day, being a direct care volunteer within the home, a woman had come down and handed me a letter, one of the participants, and then she went on a walk and I read it. We heal in community at Amirah, so I was going through stuff in my life needing healing as well. It was just a really beautiful place to heal. And I opened the letter and she had kind of expressed how she's lost some pretty important people in her life and didn't have many left. And she saw me as a brother figure. And she says, you are a safe man in my life. Please just keep coming back. And that melted my heart. And I just, one of the women, when I'm moving and it gets very difficult out there in a move, I see her face. There's many of the women that have walked through that home, and even now in the rapid rehousing, that I see their faces. So when it gets physically difficult for us or emotionally or mentally, to just have a vision of these women and the less than 1% that do get out and the 99% that stay in that life, it's one of my motivations that I just kind of see them and have that situation in my heart to really push forward, because they do care, they do remember, and when you do move for them, it just breaks down walls and melts their hearts as well, and that we heal from that. And so that's one of those stories.
That's a beautiful reminder of this reality that we know Move for Amirah is going to raise awareness. We know it's going to raise money, but the way that it impacts the women is really special. And I had an experience like that, also volunteering at Amirah in one of our aftercare programs. And we were seated at a table just shortly after Move for Amirah. I had just lost a ton of weight because I did a hike that was insane. I tried to climb 25 mountains in 5 days, which I think was humanly impossible. And one of the participants was just sort of laughing at me, like, why would you do that? That sounds horrible. And I said, well, actually, I did it for you. I did it for this event called Move for Amirah, where we raise attention for your courage and funds for your recovery journey. And in a space where it was really not normal to show vulnerability or emotion, she just broke down. And she clarified, like, you did that for me. And I said, yeah, we did. We actually prayed for you by name at the top of one of those mountains. And she came and found my wife and I later and just said, I just want you to know my whole life I've been taken from and hurt and abused. She said, it's hard for me to think of anything kind that anyone has ever done for me, much less climb mountains. And a few days later, I was back at the home doing some volunteer work on the outside, and one of our younger participants came and found me, and she said, I'm so glad you're here. This woman who we'll call Lisa publicly had a really hard day, and she said she's going to be so glad to see you. She was outside just kind of crying under the weight of it all, and she said, I just heard her repeating to herself, might climb 16 mountains for me, might climb 16 mountains for me, like a mantra, as a reminder that I'm worth fighting for, I'm worth moving for, my life matters. And as I move in subsequent years, I'm always thinking of her, and I'm always thinking of that story. So for those of you out here who are moving for the first time, I hope you feel encouraged by these experiences that we've had. And I hope that you feel as passionately about these women as we do, to know that as you're moving for Amirah, you're communicating something to them and to the world. And that is that these women are worth fighting for. They're worth moving for. So thank you for participating in this year's Move for Amirah.